Hey everybody, welcome back to the TheHyperloops2020 podcast. Sorry, I had a little OBS glitch because I deleted all my scenes. This is your boy Bobby Sapphire. We're going to be podcasting about Star Wars Destiny. We got a non-Hyperloops guest on the chat today. It's Cody from ABG. What's up, Manten?
Hey, thanks for having me on. It's fun. We get to talk some LVO.
Yeah, dude. LVO was crazy and streamed, so hopefully a lot of people saw it and can talk about it. Hopefully you're watching this on video and you can see NJ Cuenca rocking that crazy shirt. What's up, Nick?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm want to dress up for you guys.
Yeah, you're all all business.
My wife won't let me wear this out in public, so I have to wear it here.
Yeah, I have a shirt my wife won't let me wear in public either. I wish you'd give me a heads up. I would have worn it. It has mitochondria all over it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
We should wear that. We should wear that to one place.
Yeah, I'll wear it to Loop's dinner this year.
There you go.
And then with me as always is Honestly Sarcastic. What's up, Joe?
Hello. Hello.
We're taking a break from our grinding of Legends of Runeterra to bring you a Star Wars Destiny podcast. Lots to talk about from over the weekend. Yeah, it was a crazy weekend just with the LVO, the Kobe Bryant thing. Do you guys want to talk about that at all? It's like kind of messed up. I mean, it's really messed
very
up.
much so. Like, I don't know. He was. Felt he was a really good player. Back when I used to watch, but I watched back during like the Jordan era, so it was kind of tough. And then like the Shaq Kobe era was I definitely followed them, but I was like a Shaq fan. You know, but realistically, being a fan of something has nothing to do with essentially what happened, which was very, very saddening.
Yeah, I think it's extra like rough because he's just about my age. He's a couple of years older than me, but you know, I was around that age when he was coming up, when he was going to prom with Brandy. It was like I was young, you know? So, I don't know. I'm just like, he's been someone you think about for a long time, and obviously he was in the news a lot with his affair, and just seemed to like turned it around and was feeling good, and so many interviews about him and his daughter, and it's just like really depressing that like, you know, 3 little girls were on that flight. Just a bummer.
That's yeah. I feel like that's the biggest tragedy is his daughter was there, and like you said, there were other kids. You know, like Kobe, he had a great life. You know, he had a fantastic life for 41 years, and those other kids, you know,
Yeah,
had less.
some people get less, but like, yeah, the girl who's like both her parents were on there and stuff. It's just like, yeah, we're probably bumming it everyone out. Everyone's hitting the
Right,
forward 30-second button, but I feel like it would have been disingenuous to not mention it at all on a weekend where we're like glued to computers, watching the LVO and everything.
Yeah, I wear this shirt because this is a Craig Sager Foundation. So he died of a cancer. I'm blanking on what it was, but they just sold these shirts afterwards just to raise money. I actually think it's really sweet, and it's super comfy too, which I recommend someone get that.
It looks
get
soft.
it if they want it.
And on my screen, like Cody is like looking towards you on my box. He's like he's admiring it and like reaching out and touching it. It's really nice.
I'm just drawn to it.
Yeah,
what can I say?
Yeah.
Not in mine. Ours all look weird because like mine's going off screen, his is going off screen. Boba's going off
we need
screen.
to like Brady Bunch it where we're all just like looking in different directions. All right, so to Star Wars Destiny, we're gonna talk about LVO for the majority of the podcast. LVO was won by 5 dice chopper droids piloted by Henry Martinez, who got in as the 33 seed after Elrathion dropped from the event, and they discovered prior to the event that he had an illegal deck list going into day 2. You guys have reactions to that? That basically he was able to play 7 rounds with a deck that violated the restricted list. It had both Theed Palace and Order 66.
I think effectively it didn't matter. Obviously, it's against the rules. I'm going to take, I guess, a different take here. Like, it's against the rules, and he should 100% be like disqualified or knocked out or whatever the rule set said should happen in that case. But in like the grand scheme of things, like if you were his opponent, you shouldn't feel robbed because I don't think that interaction had anything to do with you losing.
Yeah, like even if it adjusted kind of the game state, Theed wasn't there for Order 66. Theed was there for many other cards where it was like, all right, well, they don't want you to be able to delve or AR into like a Falcon easily in 3PO. We're just going to take like these really strong decks and get rid of the Theed. So like Order 66, pretty much for the most part, shouldn't have even been on the list, minus the stupid Rebel Trader interaction.
Right.
And it's just like, okay.
And that's kind of what not what people said would happen, but basically alluded to the fact that there are cards on there that are being kept out of the meta because of the stupid interaction between things like Rebel Trader and Order 66 that it didn't need to be banned with Theed Palace. However, it is against the rules. I guess I can see your point that it doesn't matter that much. Although Theed is a very good battlefield, it's obviously some impact on his games. He qualified for day 2. I don't know, Quinn, do you have any thoughts that he was just allowed to drop and not disqualified in any way, or he's just obviously mistakes happen and mistakes have happened all over the course of Destiny. But yeah, I guess are you more outraged than Cody or Joe?
I'm not outraged. I think he's just really stupid. So that's what I'm going to go with. Because if you were going to cheat, you wouldn't do that, right? So he's just well, I got my cards and I'm ready to go. Let's play tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's my Aratheon, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good. Not bad. I think anytime you have something like this happen, it's just out of stupidity or lack of attention, perspicacity, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But
I don't think he was intentionally trying to cheat. That was just not you would choose something else to cheat with. That was more impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shuffle all your Vader sabers to the top.
With the truce.
Yeah, with the truce.
But I guess one of the more interesting things is that when you pull up the DB, it has the exclamation point, and at no point did he either notice that or ask what the hell. But to be fair, Theed is way at the top, right? When Theed gets the stupid exclamation point, it's just way up.
And how often do you actually add the battlefield? I never add my battlefields to my ever.
I
add them at the end.
I do because basically any list that I make, I publish for the Discord. So I guess that's just. But I've definitely had to go back and do it because I always forget to add the battlefield. But also for a long time it was just Theed anyway, so it was I forget to add Theed, but obviously it's just Theed.
Yeah.
Well, actually, now I'm really curious, right? Because both it's a plot in the battlefield, so it's not where you normally look is the card section. You really don't look at that section that much. So where are those exclamation points? Yeah, those exclamation points are highly not as visible.
Now, do you think that
actually they don't even have the exclamation point?
Do you think that kicking him out is the right decision?
Well, he dropped. I believe is the actual thing. Yeah. So let me see. Hold on. So to look over here, because I have it on the DB, Theed and Order 66 don't actually come with the exclamation point. Where if I put a delve, it gets the exclamation point because it's listed in the card section of the deck. So you actually wouldn't even notice that on the DB.
That's kind of
I think if you save it, maybe it says it has whatever stuff, but half the time we ignore that stuff, right? Whatever it says on the after you save.
Yeah, everything's a different color, and some if you didn't add the set to your collection, and it's crossed out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So someone else did make day 2 with an Order 66 deck.
Okay, so actually there is an exclamation point that says there are more than one card from restricted list in the deck, but I don't know if that's the reason. Okay.
I mean, the story was that he was meaning to play a different battlefield and didn't have one.
Swapped it at the last second.
And someone was hey, just run this instead because you don't have the one that you wanted to run. And so he's yeah, okay, and took it.
What if you got the list from somebody else, and then it was just at the last second for the battlefield? There was yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the actual rulings on that are. I'm assuming it's disqualification. If it's illegal, I think you do get disqualified if you write the wrong card down, like I did that one time. You have to just play with that card. You get a game loss.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I guess I don't know. It might be in the floor rules or whatever they made that he could swap it to a legal one or maybe a blank one.
If they caught it,
you can't swap.
If they caught it at the beginning of the event, then they would probably do that.
Oh yeah, before even dice were rolled round 1, sure.
Yeah,
they would
yeah.
Yeah, they would fix it immediately.
Yeah. At Gen Con, 2 years ago, they did that. They had people switch cards that when they had cards that they couldn't have in the deck.
Supposedly.
Those cards were missing.
Supposedly.
Yeah, but that was also before we had the rules.
Yes. No, fair. Before the floor rules. But yeah, so essentially, it was he dropped as opposed to getting disqualified because I don't know. Maybe they just weren't at that point. If he got deck checked, then he would have got DQ'd.
We don't totally shit all over those people who get to switch their decks before day 2 of Gen Con 2018.
Yeah.
But Cody took it like a man. He put those, what were they, crackdowns?
Yeah.
Crackdowns instead of
Crackdowns
crash
in his
landings.
deck.
All
Yeah.
because I left my deck list in the hotel room and I had
And
like
had to rewrite it from
Yep.
from scratch. I had a deck list error at the 2000 Star Wars World Championships, and I didn't get another one for a long time. Actually, Cuenca, were you at the Versus 10K in Orlando? I was undefeated and took a deck list error and then lost the last round and came in 10th in the top 8. I was pretty upset. I was playing Banff.
I don't think I was there.
Yeah. They hurt, and I've had two, and I remember them very vividly. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
have
one
one.
also, right?
Me?
Not the one you won. Year 2? Didn't you have one also year 2? I remember Gandor coming up to you for some card that was you left the number off.
Oh yeah, I
On
just
one
left
card.
the number off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sure, yes.
Yeah, I definitely the first GPI day 2 I did play a limited. It was limited day 2 was draft, and I forgot to include some cards, and I got a game loss, and then I was playing against a Japanese pro, and I was so nervous because I was like, oh, it's this time.
Mhm.
I obviously lost. And did not do well, unfortunately. But it sucks
Yeah, it does suck.
in some way. Yeah.
But anyways, going back, so this man, Arathion drops. This man gets in. It changes the complete seating of the event.
Mm-hmm.
People who were thinking last night, they knew what they were playing, prepping, setting up the plans, completely changed up in the morning. And then they have to sit down and play.
Wait. They changed it in the morning instead of the night because he dropped the night before.
Oh, did he drop the night before? I thought, no,
Yeah.
someone mentioned it. When I saw someone mention it, it was in the morning.
I don't know. Who is Elrathian supposed to play?
I forget, but Running Onion had to play Henry Martinez,
Yeah, I
the
mean,
eventual winner of the tournament, who was
the
one
who
who
beats the 1 seed and pretty
Yeah.
much the odds-on favorite among anyone who was at home watching. Just
Yeah.
would have picked I don't know anyone who wouldn't have picked Minion. Just kind of hot right now, and people are having trouble beating that deck. So, yeah, Henry Martinez, he beats it with Chopper Droids and runs the table from there on out, beating both Agent of Zion and then Mike from Dice Commandos in the semifinals and finals.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think in general just about 5 Days Chopper winning?
I was surprised.
Yeah, I'm also surprised.
Yeah, I was. I mean, I haven't been playing as much as you guys, but I always thought 5 Days Chopper was a very good deck, and the only reason we got off of it for Worlds was because it was getting wrecked by the 4 Days Chopper.
Yeah.
But I just always thought it was still good, and it didn't really lose much. I mean, it didn't lose anything if you just accepted that the 5 Days version was also very good.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. It just felt weird. It just felt so slow and not as crazy action cheaty because it was missing stuff. And that if people just went and busted down Chopper, you fell apart. It felt more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
But you had to have more removal if you weren't going to the late game. Or if you're going to the late game and you couldn't get the damage in and someone died, that was it. You just didn't create a board state, and you didn't have the action cheat that Faithful Companion did. That's why I had to put I built the long-term plan version, sent guys with it. But our team didn't do too well, and Just Jack got kicked in top 16 with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think what wasn't really considered was that Delve Fist left, and that deck then got way stronger, because what else spikes in this meta? Almost nothing.
Yeah, just a really aggro Raylo is just about it.
And Forlom fell out. Forlom could take that deck. Also, Afra can take that deck, but Afra's trash, so...
Yeah, I mean, those are definitely closer matchups for it. I liked the 5 Dice version a lot better into Chopper and Forlom, and knew we were taking some L's in the match going into Worlds by playing the Faithful, but we just thought that if we went in going with a deck that just lost the mirror, that we would have been just dead in the water. This guy Henry did play 4 action cheats. He played the 2 Instigates and the 2 Ewok Ambushes.
Yeah. But Ewok Ambush still wouldn't have worked with him except for R2, so it's not the same levels.
It's definitely not the same level, but if everyone's going for Chopper first in this version, then
That's fair.
It has.
I always found that
more fun.
weird. You guys think that's right? going for chopper. I still think you go for R2 or sometimes even C3PO.
It depends. The chopper
It depends
value
on the
gets
deck.
out of hand.
So like the main issue is that a lot of people started running 2 entangles. So if you went and killed an R2 and they dropped the support, like you could have just straight up lost the game to that. So if you go after 3PO, then it's like, okay, that's fine. But they maintained all their damage dice. Their upgrade probably went on R2 anyways. And then you're looking at potentially still getting your dice blown out as you just lost a guy probably half a round after. You kill 3PO or 3PO and a half of another droid and you've lost your main guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this
And
guy, he did play
did have
2
2
entangle,
entangles.
2 easy picking,
Yeah.
so the spot yellow was real.
He had
Yeah.
2 entangle, 2 entangle, 2 easy picking, 2 near misses, so just lots of removal.
It's actually a lot. It looks a lot like our version, like almost pretty close to card for card, but taking out the obviously being 5 dice and then taking out the what's the red card that's like activate a character and a support.
Off the sensors.
Taking off the sensors for the entangles because he has the 2 electro swords. He has only 1 pacify, only 1 rocket booster, only 1 riot shield. Just a lot of the things that we did for Worlds, so it looks pretty similar.
And an Enfysness Electro Ripper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that
Properly
one
has the 2 grappling arms.
Yep, properly has the 2 grappling arms, for sure.
How do you guys feel about Enfysness Electro Ripper?
I think
They loved that shit.
Yeah, I loved it. And when I played against Rothermel at Worlds, he mentioned specifically when I played it, he loved it, and then he played another one like 2 actions later, and obviously worked out really well for him.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's really good. It's one side being a 2, and then having like just a tiny bit of AOE when you need it is pretty cool.
But I gotta say that my favorite thing for the entire event was the fact that Dryden Voss was in the top 4.
Yeah, Agent of Zion playing Dryden. What was he saying? He has all these lines like "Voss is the boss." I don't
Boss,
know,
boss, yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. What is he under his real name?
It's under his real name, but
Yeah,
I'm trying to.
He is a true.
Yeah, I just want to search it. I'm not gonna say it.
I don't know. I think he's a god for getting that far with Voss. Like, what kind of world do we live in where this is actually a real thing?
He's so good. Like he's very very good. What happened at Worlds? Did he not do well at Worlds?
He didn't do well at Worlds. He got he played against like Taxter, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He did go X3 on day 1 though, so he went 4-3. In a normal cut, he's just nowhere near the cut.
But like he ran through. Ewoks?
Yes, he ran through top cut.
Yeah, but it, like tough match Ewoks, and then Forlom, and then Raylo. Like
As long as he doesn't lose his guy on 1, he can just get set up so hard that like they die.
Yep. I think this tournament was like a good proponent for deeper cuts are better. We saw a lot of weird stuff happen when X3s made it in, or when the 33rd person ended up winning. There's a world where that he never wins the tournament because he got 33rd.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's highly likely.
But at the same time, that also feels bad, right? Like if you sit there going X1, XO day 1, and they just have this crazy extended cut for a very small amount of people, like that was what? A fourth of the people? Was the cut a fourth of the people?
I'm not really sure. They had like 100 total.
Yeah,
I thought it
so
was like
like
120.
yeah, so with the 32 cut, like that would have been 128 for that. So there was 1/4 of the people got in, and like that's a ton. Like X2 realistically is kind of like the cutoff, right? Like we don't want anyone going X1 and ever being out. We don't. If it's X2 and out, and you're stuck on a bubble, that still feels kind of like whatever, but it's fine. X3 getting in just seems obscene.
I mean, I've always been in favor of a graduated cut as well. Like, you can let people who went like X1 or undefeated or whatever, like skip around and then invite more people to play best of 3s.
Yeah.
I just think in this game specifically, I don't actually have this opinion in other games because I don't feel it is as impactful. But this game specifically, it's like, let's get as many people to best of 3s as possible because that's a much more, it's a much better way to figure out like what deck's better, who's playing better, what can win.
Yeah. But
What do you think? Then?
I like a bigger one, but I don't want it to be too big. I don't know. That's kind of a.
That's what she
I know
said.
that's like a cop-out opinion, but like I think 33 is like fine. For
It's
the
just
amount
like
of
when
players.
you only have 120 people. Like that's the world we live in now. It's like these 100 people tournaments, you know. Like Worlds should be
That's
big, but I don't know. We might have to
like
think about.
33 seems like it's a lot if it's 120, right? So you could cut cut it more to even 16, and I wouldn't be totally against that. But 32, I think since it's like 2 days, it's kind of like a GP, so it kind of makes sense. Like you want people to like have a legitimate shot to make day 2, and if it's 16, it's too little. So I think 33 is fine. But yeah, I mean, graduated cuts, I don't know. I didn't think about those.
It's one of those weird situations where usually people at the top get a couple buy, few people at the top get a buy or so. But when I was watching Agent of Zion play, I felt the deck was situated in a great spot because nobody was capable of killing his guy fast enough. Between that and not having enough dedicated removal. So it's like, oh, Palps and whatever. It's like, oh, whatever. And he's like, no, here's a 4-drop, here's a 5-drop, here's a 7-drop. And you're just like, oh, God, I have 4 removal in the deck for this.
I know when you do the turn 1 planetary bombardment, it's just so baller. Like it just looks so good.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the plays. But I felt like he threw. Like I was watching it and I was like, man, I could totally play this right now. This would be great. This would be fantastic. And he was like going for stuff that just seemed crazy. And he talked about it like being linear, and it was just like, yeah, the deck's linear, but it's combo, and you can't be like bananas when you're doing it.
Can you be more specific?
There was a time where a Darksaber come up on the Dryden. The Dryden was tapped. The Dryden was going to be dying soon, and he put the Darksaber on Dryden. So then the guy held back on the damage from killing Dryden, and he didn't get to shift it over to Arinda before Arinda activated.
Oh, so his Arinda was untapped.
His Arinda was untapped. So instead of just putting it on Arinda and then swinging out with it and using it and re-rolling efficiently,
right, he got played.
He kind of did stuff and then like resolved the Siege Cannon die after like a re-roll, and Arinda never came out. And then then the dude finally killed Dryden and Arinda came out with it, but it was just like he inefficiency'd his way out of that round and at times out of the game. Like versus Raylo, there was a point where Ray got to 3 shields and he had 13 indirects to jam out. And instead of jamming out indirect so that the shields get popped, he instead got a Taru strike and killed.
Yeah,
Feels bad.
I mean that's not good.
Yeah, and then he killed Ray instead of just killing Kylo, and then his Dryden died because Kylo was like, "Oh, I'll play Polarity and then Steadfast kill you."
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, come on, guy, if you just smoke the Kylo off the table and throw 3 shields on your guy, and he's not getting through that.
Yeah, and then Ray will never get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bummer, but it's still a good run.
He beat Raylo at the end. He did beat Raylo.
He at least redeemed himself on that 3rd game and pulled. It would have been real depressing if he had lost that way. But I mean, he did super good. It was fun to watch. It's awesome that the deck did surprisingly well. But it kind of makes sense if it can dodge like Chopper and stuff. It is well situated in the meta.
Could have won the tournament though with Dryden on the way out of Destiny. like, come on. We go back in time. We fly over there and slap him upside the freaking head.
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
What happens if you like miss twice with Dryden? You just lose, right?
Miss.
He almost couldn't miss.
Yeah, his list was like set up pretty well. What's Hard Bargain? Is that the only one that's like really amazing?
No, Hard Bargain's the flip 3 cards, your opponent gets rid of 1, and then you play one of the leftover 2.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, he's good.
Yeah, no, for him to lose out, he has to hit counterintelligence, armor plating, or riot shield. That's it. After it's Hard Bargain, mobilize, and then all bombs.
Yeah, I guess you just mulligan for those zeros. It's kind of like...
Yeah, he was doing that, and then he was like focusing the specials and just like...
Yeah, that's sweet. Oh, Admiral.
Yeah, I suppose...
He definitely got an Admiral one time and untapped. Like he
seems gross.
He can do some crazy, disgusting, gross stuff. But he was just missing stuff on that. He didn't moff the battlefield to Bendu to then get use of Bendu.
Yep.
After he finished the salt flat. And like everyone lost. It's not PA to not use the PA and moff to try to use the PA on the battlefield because you can't. You can only get claim effects. But he gets to switch them, and it was a salt flat and a Bendu, so he could like flip it, use the PA, flip it back, do dirty things to people.
Yeah, that's
funny.
gross.
Star Viper.
Yeah, Grand Moff was amazing in testing. Like all of our testing leading up to LVF, I thought it was super good. You know what's really funny is I think that the Iden Beckett deck would have actually done pretty well.
Yeah, I could see that.
It struggled in some place. Like a lot of the aggro struggled. It seemed like all the Vaders got chopped up too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were just like, "Oh, I got rolled off the table by a Vader," and it's like in the 1-2 brackets. It's like, yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah, the top 8 was almost 8 different decks. There was an overlap on the chopper droids, the 5-dice chopper droids, but otherwise it was like Plowalk, Snoke Bando Mud, Malwado, Raylo, Dryden, Chopper Engineers with AR, and then, yeah, the 2 5-dice choppers. So it was a pretty, pretty wide open top 8.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like half the top cut like Raylo?
Nah,
Like
yeah,
how
there was
close
a
to it?
lot.
Was it
Two,
like
3,
40?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So
You have them?
a fourth.
Fourth? There's
I
like more than 8.
counted 9. But yeah,
I see 8, but okay. I could be wrong.
yeah, because I got Andrew Allison, Wyatt. Wyatt's the one that's hard to see. James Lafferty, Derek Arnett, Brandon Flores, Lauren Nickel, Ace Andres Perez, and then Rami and Richard Kopeck.
Is that 9?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
How about that mall deck, huh?
Did it have anything
Maul deck?
spicy in it, or just in general you like Maul?
Maul was in.
No, there was a mall in day 2. It's like
Yeah, made top 8.
mall profitable.
He made it all the way to 8.
Yeah.
He just lost to Snoke Mando Mud.
What do you guys think of that? Of him, his place in the metagame?
Maul,
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
he can steal games with the best of them.
roll hot fire, baby.
Yeah, it's Cody's favorite.
Yeah.
One time I played Cody.
Douche.
I played Cody once with Vader, and I just like rolled the stone cold nuts for 2 games in a row. And then Drew messaged me, and he's just like, "Yo, what is the man?" He's so pissed.
He's shook.
He doesn't understand this format anymore. And I was like, "Man, Vader's the best."
Dude, I remember that. I remember that. I was like, "Are you okay, bro?"
Yeah, this red Maul with profitable is pretty interesting to me.
Yeah. Profitable is.
Oh,
Hey,
that was,
man,
I remember that was the first Maul deck I was building. I was like, I'm gonna found one Maul lightsaber. Yeah, now try to deal with it. Like, oh, disgusting things.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, when you flip that 4 off of his power action, it's pretty disgusting.
It's just so much more consistent, right? And if you don't have shields, then you get to pay 1 to put it back in on future rounds. Like you can't get around that. You can't like entangle his 2 dice and be like, aha. It's like no. This die is ridiculous. Good luck. But
I did a quick search just to see what the different the different versions what there were of Raylo.
it was insane.
Yeah, there were 2
Ability.
yeah, there are 2 Untamed Power ones, and because there's 4 copies total, but there's 5 copies of Power from Pain in the top cut.
Power for pain.
Card's so good.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
insane. It looks
It's
like
J-Mag special.
yeah, J-Mag, what a genius.
He comes up with some good stuff.
Looks
Chopper
like,
Engineers was it?
it looks like Beeflo, who's on our coaching tier.
Yeah.
Just ran my list card for card.
No, he had a Maul saber.
Oh, he had a Maul Saber, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that. We cut an adapt for a Maul's lightsaber because we figured versus Mill and stuff, like if you play Maul's lightsaber, they're gonna kind of cry.
Mm-hmm.
That
Did
is
you have
just
the
too
2
big.
Luke's protection too?
He only runs 1.
Yeah.
He got 1 for a mind extraction, I think.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Afraid
Yeah,
of
I
the
mean-
props.
Things that are missing are like Red Palp didn't show up at all. I don't even know how often it was played. There could have been 0 Red Palp in the entire field for all I know. I think it was obvious Afra didn't make it.
There was only 1 Palp in the cut, right? It was Monk? Oh,
I think
no, there were
there's
2.
2.
There were 2. All right.
Yeah. I mean,
double protective suit.
I think the last deck that's kind of spicy is the Chopper Rebel Engineer.
I remember when
just
you were saying that it was either you or Drew that was like, that's it. Chopper Engineers wins. Nothing else can stop it. And regular
I-
Chopper kicked him in the ding ding.
Yeah, I haven't. I really wish I could watch that match because he
Wanna know
played
what
a
happened.
chopper. Yeah, he played a chopper before that, and that matchup's not even close. That matchup isn't even close to close. I don't think.
The Corwin Sanchez deck's pretty different. Like Corwin Sanchez still had EMP in his deck. I didn't even know people still ran that. He had one instigate, no entangles whatsoever. Oh no, sorry, one entangle. No, his deck didn't look that bad. That had to have been weird then. That matchup seems odd. There was like a single instigate and stuff.
Yeah, but you don't care if your characters die.
Yeah.
On round 2, I just want to know how you didn't just go off with Shadowcaster and win that match.
Yeah. This just wasn't streamed.
Yeah, it wasn't streamed.
I guess
Yeah, we saw a lot of Dryden.
you just have to listen to Corwin's podcast.
What's his podcast?
Dice of Failure, right? Is he one of the Dice of Failure guys?
Oh, okay. I'm bad at names. Like real bad.
I'm bad with podcasts.
I mean-
I always forget who's on what.
I mean, it was Jeff James playing the chopper deck, and he lost to Henry, who ended up winning the whole tournament. Like, that's what knocked him out. That was the chopper deck that knocked him out.
Yeah.
He beat Corwin. Like, the chopper deck, or the engineer deck beat the Corwin's chopper.
Yeah.
But then it lost to Henry.
Corwin's podcast is Roll On. My bad. Sorry,
call.
Corwin. Or,
Good call.
sorry, Dice of Failure. I don't know who's insulted more.
I like Rolled On. I was on Rolled On once. They were cool. It was fun.
I've listened to all the podcasts. I've heard them all. There's been so many, it's hard to keep track. Anything else from LVO? I will say Destiny Council did a great job streaming. ABG, you guys did a great job doing commentary when they didn't have commentary. I thought that was great that you guys only ran it when they did that. Would you just do it for patrons otherwise? Just keep it in the chat?
No, we started to, but then they were having stream issues, so they just kind of took over and we let them run their thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We were def chatting in chat, but people didn't come in. They would have heard me light people up.
Mm-hmm. As you are wont to do. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I guess like how representative of I think this LVO is like a very eclectic meta, very diverse. The fact that there weren't, like Cody said, no red palps. There were just a couple palps. There was a lot of Raylo, which is expected, I think. Is this representative of the whole meta-wise? Is this representative of like what big events are going to look like? Are there going to be big events? Like, what does this represent for the future of Destiny, I guess is what I'm asking.
I guess the real question is like we would have need to have somebody on that was running the event, right? Like how smooth was it for them? How much did it cost them? Did things like with Gandork there, obviously the rules are going to tend to run smooth. Artificery has run tons of events, not necessarily in real life, or they do, I guess, over there. But I've never been part of any of their in real life stuff, but they do perfectly fine with the online stuff. So I don't see them kind of like going wrong with that direction. So I don't know. Didn't really hear complaints besides people who didn't feel great about the Arathion being allowed to drop thing. But he didn't get any of the day 2 prizes, so I don't know. And we had the guy freaking run the tables, like life, man. Imagine that. Like, what was he 33 is the real question, right? Like, What if he was just hanging out and he was actually like 35, but no, the other 2 guys like left.
I guess we don't really know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that Yeti and I will be pretty transparent about, whether it was a loss and costs and stuff, just because we're working together for the organized play going forward. So I'm very interested to see like how that worked. I'm kind of interested in knowing why they didn't stream and why Destiny Council streamed, but I know like Destiny Council went and they're probably just excited and they were going to do it anyway. But I'm always curious as to why like Yeti, who spent a lot of time like developing like a really, really nice stream system. Like anytime he does stream, it looks fantastic, but then he just doesn't stream very often. So
yeah, they kind of stopped doing it. The last time they had Dice of Failure doing it, I think at an event that was over by them or they were at. And I don't think they had the hotspots. whereas the Minnesota guys either had it or ran it off their phones.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because I know Dice of Failure wanted to do it, but then they found it was $1,000 for the internet, and it was just like, yeah, no. And like we ran into that way back. Like you guys found that out trying to do Gen Con and stuff. Like you have to absolutely abort mission when it comes to any sort of convention and internet. 100% hotspot.
Cox coming through with the hotspots there was like so clutch. The Gen Con stream ended up being awesome because of it.
Yeah.
So, like, is outside of Worlds, is this the last 100-person event for Destiny ever?
In real life?
What about?
Yeah, in real life.
Maybe.
There's a good chance.
I'd say it's. I'd say after Worlds, we probably never have a 200-person one again.
Oh, I mean, that's like. I think that we could have a 200-person Worlds.
No, I'm saying after Worlds.
No, I mean like
never get 200.
I think like after this Worlds, we could end up having a 200-person Worlds once, but I don't know. People really would have to get behind the community-run Worlds.
Yeah,
I think like next year's Worlds, which I'm sure people are going to work on, is I think it'll have. I think it could crack 200 because you'll have the new set, and then you'll have the stuff that we'll get from the kit that they're going to give out. And I think that might hold people's interest enough, and but after that, yeah, that'll be the question after that.
Yeah,
Sure.
So we get CM in February, and according to the normal FFG release structure, 6 months later, in August,
yeah,
is when we get we get Wild Horizon, right? So then 6 months after that would be like April. So you get Worlds in April or May or something, then we're talking, right? It's just like, here's this like 40 card expansion, 80 card expansion, and it's all irrelevant, but it's funny. There we go. FFQ. We matched up.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my Awakenings at my local shop.
Still on back order.
Still on back order.
Yeah, I mean, so
still on the boat.
For people,
Still never
like,
got my
just to
SOR
go
from
quick
that.
on like what I wrote about this morning on the Hyperloops, just like the plans for OP behind the scenes, and what I've kind of been working on is to have like local kits with a continental championship. We're gonna try for Gen Con, I think, shoot for Gen Con. It's probably a little soon and really expensive, but something in the fall where we have one. I think we want to have one big event on each continent to try and like get people feeling it with the Wild Horizon cards. Mm-hmm. And then try and have like states for the United States, and then like territorials or nationals for the international community, be its own kit in the winter, and then aim to follow up that with a world championship in the summer, possibly at one of the conventions. So that's a very loose outline that we're still working the kinks out. Nothing's set in stone by any means, but that's just sort of like seems like a very safe implementation to have. Local shit, and then one big thing this year, and aim for sort of like a bigger like regional states type thing for 2021, the winter of 2021, before a world championship.
Yeah, I mean, I think regionals could realistically be like the LVO, and I think that would be great. Just have it in Vegas every year.
Having it in Vegas isn't bad because it's relatively cheap. It's definitely cheaper than Gen Con. I know people like Gen Con, and Gen Con's great, but Gen Con's very expensive, both to host an event at and attend for attendees.
Well, just have it at St. Elmo's in the basement.
Well, is it really expensive to have an event?
Yeah,
that'll be more expensive.
Well, the reason I'm asking because like the Arthur Kelly guy used to run events, right? How much what did that cost him? Versus like how many events he had.
I think a bit, but he charged like the entry fee was like $20, and he filled those flights up. Why don't you just text him and ask him?
I don't have his number.
I mean, texting is not necessarily phone numbers nowadays, but keep living in 2019.
PM?
Sure, that's a text message.
I think Reflex has his number.
That's a textual message. Yeah, we'll have Reflex reach out.
Boy. You guys are fucking evil. Anyone that doesn't understand, there's some complications there. If friendship was the term for this, people would be dead.
I mean, maybe you could do something at like Gen Con the week of Gen Con, like across, like literally, like I was joking.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, just like across the street in like a conference center. Like,
yeah, there's tons of hotels all around there.
Yeah, like a hotel lobby, sort of thing.
Dude, I was really hoping that we would set up at Gen Con on the tables right next to FFG. That's what I was really hoping was going to
Yeah.
I can't see a single reason that renting the thing would be more expensive than just getting table space to have events. Like those random henchman games that people are playing, like when they do the Raw Deal tournament at Gen Con, there's no way they're like paying bananas amounts of money.
Yeah. That whole like ding 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 game, the wrestling game.
No, that
Yeah.
game's huge. Backyard wrestling or whatever, that game's huge. Well, we're pricing it out. It's just like short term. It could be expensive. I've heard it's very expensive. So, hey,
You got to
if
make sure people will go.
If people want to do it, I think this committee is willing to do it. So we just got to make sure people are vocal. The plan for the next few weeks is to like set up a tournament organizer network where people can register so that they can buy the organized play kits and communicate with each other so that there's no overlap and people can just communicate in general, regionally, and then try and crowdfund this thing.
That sounds pretty sweet. I haven't really been paying attention. I'm too locked into Legends of Runeterra.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
For any of you guys that don't know, expect some articles on that soon.
I just want to start streaming, but we can do articles, I guess. I'm just not ready to give up on Destiny when we have
No,
a couple months
not giving
left.
up on Destiny. This is an addition.
All right.
We're gonna
Yeah,
expand on the
Joe. This is what Joe does. This is like
expand on portfolios.
Jobless Joe.
Jobless Joe. I go back to school in March.
Jobless Joe.
Yeah,
So I only got a
really,
month, bro.
Yeah, Jobless Joe for a month. I'll trade you.
What are you going to school for?
I finished my accounting degree.
Oh.
Yeah. I got a letter from the IRS. I was shook. And it was just like, did you fill out a FOSTA form? I was like, yes, I did.
Don't come at me. Don't. Please.
No, because I
don't audit the
schools,
Joe.
I was like, I get a picture of like you got an IRS letter, and I'm like, oh shit.
Don't audit the Joe.
No, it's not even the audit. I was just like, oh, did I forget to like close some tax account out, and now I've got like $3,000 in fees? Like,
Oh boy.
oh, dude, they don't play, man. But I don't know. What else is there, guys? We got Worlds coming.
We got Worlds coming.
We got the CM.
Is CM
Oh yeah, a lot
real?
of people got to play CM stuff. That seems sweet. Did we get any crazy CM prices on eBay? Like, is there like a Bane on eBay
don't
that's
know,
like
but
$100?
Now would be the time.
Yes.
Let's go look it up. Destiny Bane. There we go.
Wrong Bane.
$65 is buy it now.
All right. Well, there you go.
Hey, you gotta-
that's the market right now. Just,
Gotta
you know.
hustle. I love
And when I look up sold, all that pulls up are Cad Banes.
it.
Today, I on eBay, I looked up. Since I collect video games, I was looking to see there was a Kobe Bryant NBA courtside video game. I was looking for like a complete copy of it. They were all gone, and then there was one for like $500. I was like, okay, you gotta be kidding.
Oh man, there's no
That was
Deathfield
pretty-
on eBay.
Is there Luke's?
Luke, what? She and Master are $50 and $80.
I mean, I think like selling rares now.
signing
is,
a
like,
card?
Super clutch.
Someone sent me an Ewok warrior to sign.
And send it back.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ew,
It says-
Ewok showed up in
Dude,
fours.
the J at the bottom looks like the way I write mine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It says
you
just
do
roll.
the hook thing.
Yeah, it says just roll threes, baby.
Yeah.
Bobby Sapphire, and then I crossed out Ewok warrior and I wrote Paplu.
Yeah, there was no Ewok style deck in top 33. That's a
Yeah, there were.
What are we
What?
talking about? There
There's
was
tons
there
of
were like
Ewoks.
3 different ones. There was
Where?
Plowoks. there was
Plowok made top 8. Plowok's
Made top 4.
Then there was the
Thank-
Ewok
Plowok
with
made
the
top 4, I
the
apologize.
strike card with preemptive. Derek Miller ran it. And there should be a third Ewok as well.
Oh yeah, I don't know why I didn't. I was looking. Oh, that's so stupid.
Okay, I think there might. I'm blind. I only see 2 Ewoks. We definitely saw a third Ewok player, but maybe he just didn't make it at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, there were a lot. It seemed like there was a lot of Ewoks in Swiss.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 2 Ewok decks there in the cut.
Okay, yeah, I see him. I don't know why they weren't popping up. I was finding.
When's CM gonna be buildable on the DB? That's kind of what I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
You-
I want to dig in a little bit.
Yeah.
You could build it already, I thought. Oh, you mean for the button?
Yeah.
Got you. I don't know.
Well, you can't save over yet. I've been building decks, but I haven't ported anything over yet.
Yeah, you can't import. But I thought you could build with CM already. Thought you just had to check mark it. But maybe I'm wrong.
Chain.
Maybe. Usually I wait until you can port it because I don't want to have to like redo it,
Yeah.
just in case there's an error. All right. I mean, we got
All right.
anything else? Anything else you guys want to talk about? We don't have to run just to run, you know.
No, man.
I think that's it. I don't know. Like we're basically just now we're gonna start. We're waiting for covert missions, and then we're gonna start working on worlds.
Yeah,
Boom.
start working on worlds.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to play some pads,
I
like
have to say,
real life cards.
I have to say,
real
thank
card.
you to Agent of Zion, you asshole. God, every time.
I was gonna cut him off after. That was funny.
Like, I want to know, like, I'm hoping you were doing that on purpose and keeping like a perfectly straight face because it was like
There's
it was
no
done
way he was-
so
there's
it was
no
done
way.
so well. It had to be done on purpose.
No
like,
way he was doing it on purpose. No way.
God, it was great. Like, I was pissed off, but then I respected it at the same time. Like, I was impressed. I was like, "That's a good one. You got that was a good." What I wanted to say is, I have to say thank you to Agent of Zion for actually like the first time I've been like super pumped and excited watching games of Destiny, where it was just like a thrill ride. It was like I was watching,
Like, what's gonna
you know, like
happen?
a sport. Yeah, you didn't know what was gonna happen.
It was
super-
worse. It was worse. It was like, oh, he's dead. He's dead. Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
He's back.
When he hit that admiral off the top, you're just like, this is we're going.
Game changer. Yeah. I mean, it's a fun ass deck. No doubt about it.
Now we got to play for Worlds.
It's like your opponent's playing baseball, and then you don't have any bases, but you can hit home runs. And you have like a guy who's throwing like softballs at you.
Ephuses.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
No.
Ephus pitches.
The Ephus. Throw the Ephus.
No idea what they're talking about.
You gotta go watch Rookie of the Year, bro.
Yep.
Okay. Rookie of the Year. Got it. I'll add to the list of shit
Put
I'm
it
not
on
gonna
the
watch. Like
Jobless
Star Wars.
Joe. Jobless Joe movie night.
Yeah. It'll be right there under Star Wars. The entire everything.
Alright, sweet.
Well, I mean, you know, if you like baseball, you should watch it. If you don't, then don't watch it.
All right, I say we call it. It's been 45 minutes. One of our shorter ones, but there's really just not that much to talk about outside of LVO.
Yeah, we talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah, we talked about it quite a bit, and I think like there's still a lot to uncover. I think like you can expect some articles, and obviously a lot of the people who went are content creators, and you can look for like I said, Roll On, Dice Commando, Jack from Golden Dice. Who else made it up there? AOZ.
Random side note: if you have the invite for Worlds and you haven't done it yet, I think you have to get it done and have your ticket bought by February 14th. So definitely get that done. If you didn't get an email after filling out the thing saying that you had an invite, then check with your local or whoever ran the event because they didn't submit it, and you need to get them in touch to get in touch with Matt Holland from Organized Play.
And then if
Yeah,
by any chance you end up with an extra ticket or you end up not going, contact this guy right here, me, please. I still need it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
buy
don't
my
have it?
ticket tomorrow.
I know I didn't get a ticket.
Bobo doesn't have one either.
I mean, I'm gonna
I'm gonna buy
go
mine
either
tomorrow,
way.
I
I
swear.
would just like to play when I go.
How are you getting one, Nick?
I'm just gonna buy it on the website. All right. On that note,
I'm still waiting to hear back from Matt Holland about whether or not I can judge. So
Rough. Real rough. All right. Well, now that we stopped talking about Destiny, you guys can cut out, and everyone who's interested in Legend Retire, we're going to go for the next 4.5 hours. You ready?
you can do a separate. You can send that to me, and I'll post it up tomorrow. But I am cutting this, and I'm going to bed.
I know.
I'm uploading and going to bed.
Any last words, guys?
No, thanks for tuning in. I guess feedback and just like things you want us to talk about leading up to Worlds would be good, because if we're gonna do this every week for the next 12 to 16 weeks, it's gonna be a slog. It's about to dry up around here.
and I would say if you are interested in sort of the continuation of Destiny, try to get involved with like the Discord or just I don't know. I think that's probably the best way.
If
also,
people have individual suggestions, I say just like you can ping me, and I'll tell you who to talk to. I think getting in the Discord's a good idea, but if you have something specific you really want to add, I can put you in contact with who you need to say to, or relay the message myself. I've been kind of taking the approach of like, what's that adage? It's like if you want something done, do it yourself, or something.
Yeah.
If you want something done right, do it yourself.
do it yourself.
Yeah.
There you go. That's my thought. So I'm trying to do what I can to help.
No,
And remember, a clock is wrong twice a day.
It totally is. Well, thanks, Manten, for coming on. Do you have anything you wanna? Any other parting shots or wishes?
Plugs.
No, I want to take shots.
Yeah.
Closing
Ooh.
shots. The people who were doing commentary on the stream when Kobe got announced are pieces of shit.
Wow, what
And
happened?
Because they were completely disrespectful about his death, and they kind of went off on a little tangent about it, and it was very, very, very negative and very disgusting. So I'm gonna throw that
Wow.
out there.
I
As my
didn't hear
spicy
that.
take.
I'm glad I didn't hear that.
All right.
I figured you didn't when you said it this earlier, and I was just like, I'm gonna keep quiet.
That's why I waited till the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Pew
right.
pew.
You guys can tell me about it off air.
But you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching. Hyperloops and Manten from ABG out. Deuces.